Hey guys, how are you doing? I hope you're having an amazing day and welcome to another video by Sendwin.
So guys, in today's video we'll be talking about the best brainstorming techniques that you can follow for productive work. The first technique that I would highly suggest you to do is called mind mapping. It just simply means, mind mapping is quite simple. You should have definitely, made flowcharts in your life. So it's just the same way, you have an idea or you have a piece of content and you want to, brainstorm new ideas for it. And what you can do is you can start plotting them down in a diagrammatic format, right? You draw some circles, then you create some lines, you pull down some lines, then you have some rectangles, all these geometrical shapes, and then you just start noting down all of your ideas that you just get. And perhaps in this way you try to create links between the ideas, and in the same process there's a high scope that you would definitely hit new ideas, and you would be able to discover new ideas. So mind mapping is really a really cool technique that you can follow. It's quite simple, it's quite graphical, and at the same time this is a working method that you can follow to brainstorm new ideas. Now the next technique that I would suggest you is called SWOT analysis. And SWOT is basically it's an acronym for strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So this combinedly makes up SWOT, SWOT. Okay, so what you do in this technique is that you basically list down all these strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and then threats in some paper or a notebook. And then what you do is you try to analyze what could be the potential strengths. You try to maximize the strengths and the opportunities, while you try to minimize the weaknesses and the threats, because that's how you take your idea, the whole process of ideation, in a positive direction, right? So that's how you conduct your SWOT analysis. You try to list down as many as possible, right? As many as strengths that you can find, as many as weaknesses that you can find, as many as opportunities that you can find, and as many as threats that you can find, right? So combining all of this, you try to, at the end of the day, you try to minimize the weaknesses or minimize the threats, and also at the same time increase your strengths and increase the opportunities, right? So that's called SWOT analysis, and that's a really cool tool. It is used professionally by a lot of venture capitalists, angel investors, entrepreneurs in their real life. Now the next technique is very very simple, and it's called say it aloud, right? So just by reading this phrase called say it aloud, you're able to guess some kind of meaning of it. So what it essentially means is that you basically try to say your whole of your idea aloud. It could be that you stand before a mirror and you just say, you try to mumble it in front of a mirror, or you can even call some of your friend or your acquaintance and you start gossiping about it. So you basically try to say it aloud. Okay, when you say it aloud, both of your senses start working. Your vocals start working, your mind start working. So at the same time, there's chances that that while saying that you might be able to discover something new. So there are heavy chances that when you're trying to say something, you're trying to say something aloud, and in that process you can definitely hit new horizons. You could be able to find new ideas all by yourself. Now the next technique that I would suggest to you is called group discussion. Group discussion is quite simple. It's just that you take your idea in front of a group and you start discussing about it. Because when you think with a single brain, but you only have other brains joined with you. You know that the potential of having something unique developed is quite high. So what happens is that you take it to a group of responsible people, and you start discussing about your idea. You start gathering ideas, what could be done, what could be omitted, etc. And at the end of the day, you would definitely find that you are in a position where you have got better ideas, or you have also realized some of the flaws in your ideas. So this definitely helps you out, and I would highly suggest if you want to go with any of the brainstorming techniques, and group discussion is something that you should give the most priority, and then move on to any of the other techniques. Now the last technique for today's video, last brainstorming technique is called gap analysis. So it is just that you create a line, okay, and at the very beginning of the line, at the start point, you try to list down what you're starting with, okay, what's your main, what's the thing that you're starting with, okay. So basically you try to list down what is your initial position, and then at the other end of the line you try to write down, you try to write down the destination, or the final aim that you're trying to reach, the goal that you're trying to reach. You write it down in the other end of the line, and in this process what happens is that you try to now analyze the gap between it, like how can you fill these gaps, like what services can you provide, what projects can you develop, or it could be like what more strategies that you can apply, right? So this covers everything, what revenue streams you should be adding back to, adding to your business that you can fill in this gap. So you basically try to create a long gap and you try to fill in with all these ideas. So that's how you come along, new ideas, and you try to gather as much as possible. Now these were a few of the techniques that I would highly suggest you to follow. These are simple techniques and at the same time super efficient and super impactful. So I would definitely recommend you to go ahead, try out these techniques in case you're trying to brainstorm something. And with this I would like to leave you here, and I'll see you in some other video. Till then,
Take care and bye bye.